Let's start with our first news. On the Believe You Me podcast with Michael Bisping, Jiří Procházka revealed that negotiations for his fight against Carlos Ulberg began under surprising circumstances. He explained that talks really picked up after Tom Aspinall suffered an eye injury, which shifted the UFC's plans and opened the door for him to step in. Negotiations started after my last fight, Jiří said. So in October last year, it became more clear when Tom Aspinall injured his eye. That's when Alex Pereira started talking about moving me up, and we began to negotiate about fighting Ulberg for a title. The only possible date they offered us was April 11th. For Jiří, that date came with a personal challenge, as it was incredibly close to a major life event. It's still very close to the birth of my first child, he admitted. The baby's due around April 13th, so after the fight, I'll have to take the first flight back home. I believe it might be just a few days later, but we're planning everything carefully. Despite the scheduling challenge, Jiří confirmed that his focus remained fully on preparation. He spoke about his team and the intensity of his training leading up to the bout. During warm-ups, we're pushing hard with Hamza Khamzat and Arman. Every session counts, and we're praying for the best outcomes in every moment, he explained. He also reflected on the timing of the negotiations, emphasizing how quickly things can change in the fight world. After Aspinall's injury, the opportunity came fast. UFC moves quickly when a slot opens up for a title fight and you have to adapt. That's exactly what we did. We started discussions immediately, evaluated every option, and confirmed April 11th as the fight date. Jiří's comments highlight how fighter schedules, injuries, and personal life events often collide in unpredictable ways. Even with a newborn arriving days after the fight, he remains focused on delivering a peak performance in the octagon. Negotiations, timing, and personal life pressures all shaped this matchup. Jiří Procházka's openness about the process offers fans an inside look at how UFC fights come together behind the scenes. From October, planning to the last-minute adjustments after Aspinall's setback, every detail mattered, and every decision had to balance family, logistics, and training intensity. This fight will now carry extra significance, not just for the title, but for Jiří personally, as he navigates one of the busiest and most meaningful periods of his life. Every punch, every round, and every preparation moment will reflect the effort he and his team invested in making this opportunity a reality. Move on to another news. Jorge Masvidal recently opened up about his UFC return and revealed some behind-the-scenes details that fans have been waiting to hear. He explained that he actually turned down an offer from Netflix to fight, despite receiving a very solid proposal. I got offered to fight on this card, Jorge said, and I had a very good, nice offer from Netflix, but UFC had other plans for me. They said, no, we're going to use you. And we're going to break the news here first on this podcast about who they want me to fight, when, and where. Jorge went on to mention his good relationship with Nika. I get along very well with Nikisa, and I love him for even thinking of me and calling me up, he said. But it just didn't work out. I had the first offer before they gave it to Nate, and I desperately wanted to take the fight. But UFC has a good plan for me. They told me the plan, I like it, and we're going to see it through now. He confirmed that his comeback is official. Coming back now, let's go, Jorge said. I'll show you guys the message from Hunter where it says, welcome back home, blah, blah, blah. I had a good long talk with Hunter, and there's a nice little deal for me there, so I'm going to take it. While he couldn't reveal his opponent yet, Jorge teased that there are 3 strong candidates being considered. We don't know who I'm fighting yet, but we have 3 good options, he said. He also confirmed that the return will be in the 170-pound division. Yeah, weight class 170, that's correct, Jorge added. Finally, he gave a shout-out to UFC leadership for supporting him throughout the process. Shout out to Hunter, shout out to Dana, Jorge said. Thank you guys always for taking care of your boy. Jorge's excitement was clear, and he left no doubt that he's ready to step back into the octagon with full intensity. His comments highlight how fighter negotiations, timing, and organizational strategy all play a role in UFC comebacks. With the Netflix offer declined and a UFC plan in place, fans can expect Jorge Masvidal to return with a clear focus and determination to make a statement. Every detail, from contract talks to fighter selection, has been carefully handled, setting the stage for a high-profile and eagerly anticipated return to action. Move on to another news. Paddy Pimblett recently roasted one of his teammates in the gym, and the exchange was as hilarious as it was brutal. It all started when he noticed his teammate had gel in his hair and was rocking white socks. "I hope it does, Ted. You got gel in your ear," Paddy said, shaking his head. "Oh my God, it gets worse. You've got gel in your hair. What's wrong with gelling your hair, man? What's right with it?" He didn't hold back, taking aim at the combination of gelled hair and white socks. "Not what's wrong with it. It's like your style hair. Oh my God. Take a note, brother. Gelling your hair and white socks, you're making the gym look stupid, lad. Every time you get them white socks out, you're getting car." Paddy made it clear that the style choices weren't just annoying, they could affect performance. "Bro, I'm not going to be able to fight in June if you carry on like this," he said with mock seriousness. "I'll make sure you can't fight if you keep wearing white socks and putting gel in your hair, lad. He's got gel in his ear. I'd well rather blow dry your hair than have gel in it, like an absolute wet one," he continued, expressing disbelief at the condition of his teammate. "What condition, this boy? You know what? Do you know what I didn't do after I saw that? I didn't put gel in it like a wet one. Lad, I can't believe you. You know when you go to like a women's salon, you get a cut and blow dry? No, I just get a cut. I do go. I just get it cut. No blow dry. No, it doesn't do me at all." Throughout the roast, Paddy's humor and personality shone through, mixing playful insult with genuine incredulity. His teammates' fashion choices became the perfect target for a comedic tirade, highlighting Paddy's outspoken and entertaining nature. Every comment, from gel in the ear to white socks, was delivered with maximum emphasis, making it clear that Paddy Pimblett takes both style and gym etiquette seriously. Fans loved seeing this side of Paddy, showing that even in a serious training environment, there's room for humor, banter, and personality. His roast perfectly balanced mockery with genuine camaraderie, turning a simple observation about hair gel and socks into a memorable moment that highlighted his larger-than-life character and his sharp eye for the absurd. Move on to another news. Dustin Poirier recently shared his thoughts on Conor McGregor's fight with Michael Chandler, calling it a layup fight for the former champion. Dustin explained that he saw the matchup as ideal for Conor, highlighting Chandler's style and vulnerabilities. "I thought the Chandler fight was a layup for him," Dustin said. "A great matchup for him. Chandler's up there, 38 or 39 years old, but it's just a layup for Conor. Chandler's hittable, covers distance, not that technically huge movements. You jump in, you get carried out. Conor's a sniper. I just think that's a great matchup for him." He emphasized that while Chandler is experienced, his style made him particularly susceptible to Conor's precision striking. Dustin's perspective suggests that the fight was favorable for Conor, and he implied that the outcome may have shifted the narrative around Conor's current standing. Chandler is now set to face Mauricio Hui on the White House card, moving on from the matchup with Conor. But Dustin's comments underline the idea that the fight presented an ideal opportunity for Conor to showcase his skills and dominance in the octagon. Dustin's analysis also touched on the technical aspects of Chandler's approach. He noted that Chandler's movements and the way he covers distance leave openings for a precise striker like Conor. Chandler's hittable, covers distance, not that technically huge movements, Dustin said. You jump in, you get carried out. Conor's a sniper. This highlights how fighter styles can create natural advantages, and why Dustin viewed the matchup as a layup fight for Conor. In other fight news, the rematch between Arman and Georgiopoulos is set to take place at RAF 7 this Saturday. Arman remains focused and confident going into the bout, undistracted by external pressures or narratives. Fans are eagerly anticipating the clash, which promises high-level striking and tactical engagement from both fighters. Dustin Poirier's comments, combined with the upcoming rematch at RAF 7, remind fans how matchups, style dynamics, and fighter execution play critical roles in shaping expectations and excitement around events. The insights about Conor versus Chandler and Arman versus Poulos showcase how UFC and MMA narratives are constantly evolving, and why fans tune in to watch both the strategy and the action unfold inside the cage. Every fighter, every style, and every matchup has its own story, and commentators like Dustin help break down the key elements that make fights compelling and unpredictable. Move on to another news. Arman recently spoke about the possibility of another brawl with Georgiopoulos, and he made it clear that he's not concerned at all. In an interview with Fox Nation, Arman said, "If he was a man, I would have a problem with him. With these guys, I'm never going to have a problem because he's not a man of his words, first of all. And second, you can do something to him, And he can cancel the fight, say, oh, I broke my hand, I want to go this. I want to sue you. Because he is kind of a tricky guy, and you got to be careful. He's like a rat. Arman emphasized that while anything can happen in the UFC, he remains focused on his own preparation and strategy. We'll see what happens. You never know, he said. But I'm in the UFC. For me, it's bad to fight somewhere and somebody, especially with wrestlers. They don't know how to fight. So, I can break his arms. I don't know his head. It's dangerous because we know how to use our hands, elbows, kicks. It could be dangerous for him. His comments underline the respect he has for technical striking and the dangers of underestimating a well-rounded fighter. Arman's experience and confidence allow him to assess risks realistically while maintaining a calm approach to potential conflicts in the octagon. He pointed out that fighters who rely primarily on wrestling may not be prepared for the full spectrum of striking techniques, which could leave them vulnerable against someone with his skill set. Arman's candid remarks also highlight his mental approach to fight strategy. He remains unshaken by trash talk or intimidation tactics, focusing instead on the technical and physical aspects of combat. By recognizing potential pitfalls with opponents like Giorgio, Arman is able to plan his fight strategically, maintaining control and minimizing risk while maximizing his own strengths. In other news, Arman's comments were part of a broader discussion about upcoming matchups and fight dynamics in the UFC. Fans are eager to see how these insights translate into action inside the cage, especially against opponents who might rely on unpredictability or trickery. Arman's confidence, skill, and tactical awareness make him a compelling fighter to watch, and his remarks serve as a reminder of the importance of preparation, respect for technique, and mental sharpness in high-level MMA competition. Every fight, every decision, and every strategy matters, and Arman continues to set the standard for composure and skill in the octagon. Move on to another news. Conor McGregor's long-awaited UFC return may finally be on the horizon, despite months of uncertainty and speculation. Dana White recently confirmed that talks have taken place, but stressed that the promotion was not yet close to finalizing an agreement. Earlier expectations of a White House card clash with Michael Chandler failed to materialize, leaving fans eager for clarity. However, optimism is now growing, as Ariel Helwani has suggested that McGregor's return during International Fight Week on July 11th is becoming increasingly likely, with Max Holloway potentially lined up as his opponent. There has been a noticeable lack of excitement in recent cards, with fans and analysts feeling that the energy just hasn't been there. Coupled with the cautious answers at post-fight press conferences, the demeanor of fighters, and the matchmaking decisions, it has reinforced one truth. Conor McGregor remains the master of good timing. As Ariel explained, McGregor is the beneficiary of the best timing in the history of the sport. He has managed to sit back, almost like the meme of the dog in the burning room, calmly observing while the UFC and fans await his return. All right, yep, I'm sitting pretty right now. Of course you want me back, the sentiment goes. Reports from 2 weeks ago indicated that meetings went well, and insiders confirmed progress behind the scenes. At this point, it would take a truly disastrous situation for McGregor not to be fighting on July 11th. The UFC needs him more than ever. His presence on this card is crucial, and the promotion is reportedly doing everything in its power to make it happen. Max Holloway, known for his cerebral approach, has made comments that suggest he is aware of these negotiations. His careful, calculated statements indicate that discussions are ongoing and likely progressing smoothly. There is a sense that the UFC recognizes the importance of this matchup and is committed to delivering it. Adding to the excitement, McGregor recently shared a video on social media appearing in high spirits, a sign that negotiations may be moving in the right direction. Fans are hopeful that July 11th will mark the long-awaited return of Conor McGregor, and every indication points to a high-energy, highly anticipated matchup that could reignite the excitement in the UFC and deliver a massive event for Fight Week. Move on to another news. Movsar Evloev recently addressed questions about his fight against Murphy, making it clear that the UFC never forced him to strike or stop wrestling. He stated, "There was no ultimatum from the UFC about not wrestling, and there never was. People also said, I fought because I was told I'd get cut otherwise. That's not true either. It was a 5-round fight, so there was always going to be time to wrestle. But once I started exchanging with him, I didn't feel any danger from him at all." Evloev also responded to Aljamain Sterling's comments about Murphy allegedly being robbed on the scorecards. He found it ironic that Sterling is overly friendly and supportive in person, constantly telling him he should be fighting for the belt, yet criticizes him online. Movsar said, "Every time I see him in Vegas at the PI, he's very friendly, almost overly respectful, always saying I should be fighting for the belt and asking why I'm not getting the title shot. But then online, it feels like a completely different person." Regarding the fight itself, Evloev firmly disagreed with the idea that it could have been a draw. The fight was close, sure, but saying I could have lost shows a lack of understanding. Just because the number of strikes was similar doesn't make it a draw. I did much more damage. I had top control, ground and pound, and 9 takedowns, things he didn't have at all. He had some striking attempts, but he didn't do any real damage to me and had no success in wrestling or on the ground. I also controlled the center more. Looking at everything, I believe I won almost every aspect, including the striking, even if the difference there wasn't huge. Movsar also shared his readiness for future matchups, confirming he is prepared to face Alexander Volkanovski in May and would even be open to fighting him on the White House card if the UFC makes it happen. He concluded by reflecting on the unpredictable nature of the sport. "Nothing in this sport surprises me anymore," he said, "and I hope there will be more reasons to smile going forward." Evloev's comments provide a clear insight into his mindset and approach to fighting. His confidence, technical dominance, and strategic awareness were on full display, highlighting why he remains a top competitor in the UFC. Every takedown, every moment of top control, and every strike contributed to a performance he believes was decisive. His measured responses to critics and clear focus on upcoming opportunities underline his professionalism and dedication to the sport, making him a fighter to watch closely in the coming months.